All right. Well, today, if you see on a previous video, I worked on a guy's edger, one of the old school gas 4-stroke edgers with the Tecumseh engine on it, and just had to do some minor governor linkage adjustment on it. It was an easy fix, but it kind of motivated me to work on mine. I had one identical to this guy's. I mean, what are the chances, right? You don't see too many of them around anymore, and this it was identical. His was in much better shape, and mine I just kind of over the years, you know, I never paid that much attention to it, just enough to get it started and poof, because you know it takes me 5 minutes to edge my yard, right? But kind of motivated me to get this one cleaned up and make sure it's running really good, and you know, plan on keeping it for a long time. So, well, let's take a look at it. Well, there she blows. You can see it's just covered in dust, and there's some oil down here. I don't know where it was leaking, if leaking at all. The air filter, yeah, it looks kind of old too. I could have sworn I had put a new one on there, but it was, you know, had to have been a couple of years at least. But you can see it's just all covered in dust. It's been sitting over there, been sitting over here in the corner, you know, so it's been out of the rain and all that good stuff, but still, you know, still outside in the elements. So, yeah, the belt looks pretty good. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to spray this sucker down and get it all cleaned up before I start working on it. And, because I don't think there's any gas in it. No, it's bone dry. So hopefully the carburetor's still clean. I know I put, you know, I put the ethanol treatment and stuff in my gas, so hopefully it did its job. And let's take a look at the oil. Well, it's full. Well, good. And the oil looked good, so well, let's get her cleaned up. I've just washed it off. It looks pretty good, a little better. I see I missed a couple of spots. And the handle and everything could probably do a paint job, and that would really look pretty good. But, that being said, okay, I put some gas in it. And I'm going to pump up the carburetor here. See if we'll even get any crank at all. About halfway up. Yep. Oh, it's trying. Come on, baby. Man, it is trying, isn't it? Alright. So it is very close, isn't it? That's awesome. So, from the sounds of it, where I'm having to really prime it, you know, a dozen times a shot, and then have the throttle all the way up, and it looks like it starts, it tries to start anyway. So I think I'll take that off, the carburetor that is, get it good and clean, and then maybe replace the air filter. So I was about to just take the air cleaner off and spray some carb cleaner down in there, but I went and grabbed the camera, set it up, but you see all this? If you can see the glare, yeah, there went a drip. So I've got a gas leak coming from somewhere. It's coming, yeah, it's coming out of here. So I guess, yeah, well, it's obvious. I'm going to have to either drain the tank and then take the carburetor off and check it out and make sure maybe the float's stuck, who knows. But and then I'll have to check the oil and make sure no gas was leaking down into the crankcase. So okay, well, it looks like it's about to rain here any minute, but that's the plan. I think I'll just go ahead and drain the tank for right now, and we'll go from there. Maybe I'll put this up on a bench. Alright, well, trying to get around the camera here. So I drained the gas out. There's probably still some gas in the carburetor, but that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and take the carburetor off and give it a good cleaning. 2 bolts, one on each side, but it's so cramped in here. I'm trying to get this off. One, see anything in here. I have to move the camera. I'll walk you. There we go. Let me take this off. And so if you saw that previous video, somebody commented, well, we couldn't tell which hole was which. I guess we'll never know, right? Well, now you know. So this is the one it should be in. This one right here. On the other edger, on a previous video, they had put it here on this bigger hole. So when the linkage was pushing against it, it was just a straight push, right? There was no leverage to get it to turn. So by putting it up here, you can see it rotates much easier. So that's where it's supposed to go. And there's the link. So let's yeah, you can tell where it was leaking over here. I'm going to take this off. Well, I need to clean out this pan one of these days. Yeah, a little dirty in there. So usually if it's filling up and overflowing gas like this was, that means the float was not closing, right? Let's see what it does. Let me wipe this off and blow into that. Well, it seems like it's closing now, but I can tell how that could have just the gunk in there could have kept it from going all the way up. But, so let's clean this joker up, and we'll put it back on and see if it still leaks. But luckily all the gaskets look good, you know. I guess with this, I need to make sure, I guess I should put all this in the ultrasonic cleaner, and I want to make sure, oh, there's the problem. So everything was, it wasn't clogged, but can you hear that? The float is full. So that was the problem. Let me search. I am not sure if I have a carburetor with a good float on it in my stash, but let me go look. Alright, I think I lucked out here. Found this little box with a bunch of Tecumseh parts and a gasket. If I can get it out. There we go. A new gasket. Cool. And I believe that will do it. Well, hell, this whole carburetor looks to be in better shape. Yeah, shoot, I'm just going to put this whole carburetor on. Yeah, this gasket is good, so I'm just going to peel this one off. It's just crumpling off. Alright, let's see if it'll... Yeah, it's working fine. What about the bulb? That's hard to tell. Alright. Well, let's give it a shot. Alright, looks like everything is working as it should, so hopefully it's not going to leak. Let's put this back on the ground, put some gas in it, and see what it does. Alright, I just put a little gas in it. And before I put the air cleaner on, I saw a drip. I think it's down from here at the bottom. Well, I still see a drip. trying to crank, but you can see, yeah, there's still a drip coming out the front. So let's take another look at it. Before I take it off, I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to take the bowl off. Well, it's coming down right here, so maybe that'll catch it all. You can see it's just dripping right down. There's one thing with those brass floats, you can actually still adjust them, you know. You look at the plastic ones on Briggs & Stratton and all that good stuff, they're plastic and they just go on and it is what it is, right? But with these, let's see, where is it? Yeah, so with these little brass ones, there is some adjustability here. You know, I can bend this tab down and so it'll engage quicker instead of way up here. I'll show you when I get it on there. Yeah, so see the way it's still dripping, and it should be about right here is when it stops. But this one you have to go all the way up. So I'm going to adjust this float so it engages on a more horizontal level. So I'm just going to bend this tab right there. I'm going to bend it up so that our needle here will engage much quicker. Alright, so let's bend it up. And you don't want to go too much or it's going to engage like way down here. If it's too much of an angle when it engages, that means your gas level is going to be too small. But this, I don't think we'll run into the problem. If your gas level is low here, sometimes the engine will use gas faster than it's letting it into the bowl. So I just want so it's almost horizontal. I'm tempted to go even a little farther. Alright, let's try that. If it's too much, I'll know if I'm out there edging and after 5 or 10 minutes if it starts to die, then I know it's using fuel faster than it's filling in the bowl, right? But in this case, I don't have a whole lot to edge anyway. I'm going to be, I get finished in 10 minutes regardless, So, alright. Let's see what happens. Nope, there's a drip. I wonder if this bowl is leaking. See, there's a little dent. Can you see that? I don't see any daylight. Oh, wait a minute, is there? Yeah, I think there's a little pinhole. Isn't that something? Well, we've got this dirty one. I will finish cleaning it off. Well, it's dry. I guess that was it, huh? The combination of this float, which is full of gas, still has some gas in it, and the bottom of the float bowl here, wherever that dent came from. This one has a dent also, but this one, there's a little pinhole on it. Isn't that weird? Okay, well, let's get it down there and see if we can crank it up again. All right, well, everything's on, and I checked the oil, make sure no gas had been leaking into the crankcase, and it hasn't been. All the leaking, well, it had 2 leaks if you ask me, because before I could see it coming over the top of the carburetor and, you know, leaking out. Then the other leak down here at the bottom where the gasket had worn down, and at the bottom of the float. So we had a bad gasket, a float that was full of gas leaking, and managed to get this one to work out of 2 carburetors. If this doesn't work, then I'm just going to get another carburetor, because I'm out of options. Those are the only 2 Tecumseh carburetors that I had. But let's see what it does. It's not wanting to start at all. Ouch. Well, we're definitely getting spark. I just shocked myself. Alright, so it's just carburetor problems. But I think it's worth a new carb, you know? I want to get this sucker running. So I'll be back when I put a new carburetor on it. Alright, I'm back. And I did get a replacement carburetor. So this had the whole kit, you know, with the spare hose, filter, spark plug, and a fuel shutoff, which I might use. That'll be kind of a... I'd have to... Yeah, I could probably cut that hose right there and put it on that way, alright? So, that's good. New gasket and all that good stuff. And this carburetor, this is the one like my previous, the one I just worked on. It has the manual choke on it, not the primer bulb. So, well, it's ready to get put on. Right? Let's do it. Alright, and remember, it's that hole right there in the corner, not this one back here, but this one. Let me straighten all that out. There we go. And I don't see any leaks. That's good. Well, I think that's got it. Alright, let's check it out. Choke is on. Go about halfway. There is gas in there. Yeah. All right. Well, I'd say it's running pretty good now. Carburetor did the trick. I didn't do anything else with it yet. I didn't switch out the spark plug. I know the oil looked fairly new because I've probably only used it once or twice since I changed the oil. A year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. So that was it. I just had to try the other two carburetors though. I know I had the one that was in there and one in my goodie box, and it's like, well, I guess it was worth a shot, right? And tried to piece together a good carburetor out of those two, and I guess there was just too many problems. One of them had the float that was bad and it was full of water. One of them had the float bowl that had a pinhole in it, and then it started leaking out of the gasket on the bottom. Not the main gasket, but where that at the very bottom where that where it screws in. What else? But even after fixing all that, I think one of them had a bad primer bulb on it. But other than that, it's like, man, I just got tired of messing with it and just got this new one. So I guess out of the two I have, I'll probably keep the float and one of the good bowls, stuff like that. And that's it. I just don't have a whole lot of Tecumseh old inventory. So I think that was worth it. The carburetor was pretty cheap, and now I have an edger to go do yard work. Too freaking hot right now, but I guess that's it. So got it running. Hopefully it'll run for many more years to come. So, well, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for my next video.